Okay, so when I was like almost 5, we moved into a new house, and this house had been like vacant for a while before we moved in there. And as we were moving in, there was like some officers that stopped by and were like, "Oh, we're so happy to see like a normal family moving into this house. It's been empty. We've been called to it so many times because of like trespassing and criminal activity happening on this property." And there were like animal sacrifices, like animal carcasses that they had found, and like half burnt candles and stuff like that, basically signaling that it had been like witches that had been using it to practice their witchcraft in the time that it was vacant. And another thing that they had done was they had like defaced all of the doors. So we had replaced some of them before I moved in, and there was like some doors on like the main doors, like the bathroom door and the bedroom doors were there, but like closets and like the basement and stuff didn't have doors yet. And so I remember it was one of the first nights we moved in, and I was laying in my bed, and I rolled over and I looked into my closet, and in my closet there was like this man, like the figure of a man, and he was like a shadow and like a trench coat kind of shape with like a hat, and he had these like glowing red eyes. And I wasn't like terrified, but I was like very uncomfortable, and I was like, okay, so this guy's not like coming at me or attacking me, so I don't like him being in my closet. I'm gonna go get my mom to get him out of my closet. And so I got up out of my bed and I went to my mom's room, and I woke up my mom, and I was like, "Mommy, there's a man in my closet." And she was like, "What do you mean there's a man in your closet? Like, what does it look like?" And I was like, "Well, he's like a shadow with glowing red eyes." And at that time, my dad like had woken up and was like, "Okay, it sounds like there's a spirit in your closet." So he asked my mom, he's like, "Do we have any oil in the house?" And I was like, "I think we have Crisco downstairs." And so he went and he got the Crisco, and my mom went into the room, and she told me, I like fact checked this with her even because I was so young when this happened that I wasn't even sure that I remembered everything accurately. But so all of this is like accurate information verified by my mom, who was an adult when this happened. And she said that we went into the room and it was like 20 degrees colder than the rest of the house, and she instantly just like knew that it was a spirit in my closet. And so she picked my brother out of his crib instead of like putting me back in bed being like, "Oh, Tony, you're having a nightmare." Like she knew that it was not a nightmare and that it was like real life. And so she picked up my brother and took him back into the room, and Doug brought the Crisco in and went into the room to anoint the doorpost and cast the demon out of my room and out of our house. And there was a dog that lived across the street that was like a big, it was like a wolf hybrid dog, and it used to hang out on the roof. And as Doug was like in the room praying, all the dogs in the neighborhood started like howling and like freaking out, and it was like outwards from our house, and that dog was like howling, and it was like a real like wolf howl sounding, and it got down off the roof like it was like frightened, and like it was like the only time that it got off the roof in the night, because usually it was like protecting the house, but something freaked it out and it got off the roof and was howling. And it wasn't the only dog in the neighborhood, like all the dogs in the neighborhood were like freaking out. I remember thinking that it was like a siren had gone through the neighborhood, like how all the dogs would like freak out following the siren sound, but there was no siren to hear with it. And after that, there was nothing. It was fine. The demons were out of our house, and the prayers worked, and it was no big deal. But that was my haunted house story. So, yeah.